Now, if you want to do fancier stuff, you're going to have to most likely go into Fusion. I don't really use I don't use Fairlight at all. I don't use color unless I need a mask. I don't know why it's in the color page, but you can go to the color page and like draw a mask. Like, how do I do this? Circle. You can like draw a mask. See, up here in the corner, you can see that it's masking out everything but what's in that circle now. Everything else is transparent. I don't know why these are here. I don't know why they're in the color panel. They're very useful, but why are they in the color panel? I feel like they should be part of the Fusion panel, because that's where everything else is done. But if you need just, like, basic masks that you draw around, like, I only want this part visible, it's going over something. There we go. You can do that. In the color panel. I don't know why. It's in the color panel. Anyway. Actually, no, I want that on. Get out of here. That's where the basic mask is. But if you want to do anything fancier than that, you have to go into Fusion, and Fusion's fucking weird. It took me a while to understand this. So in Adobe Premiere, effects are just like over here. You have effects that you can drag onto things, like I did earlier with the audio, where all those effects that I put on my voice track are right here. That's what I'm used to. That's how Adobe Premiere does it. If you want to chroma key it something or do an ultra key, you throw it in here and you change some stuff, basically. It's on the left in Adobe Premiere, but you do that. And there are some cool effects you can do in here. Most of these cost money. Well, not most of them, but some of them cost money. So, like, if you just want to blur something, you can do a blur by just, not on the audio, you can do a blur by just putting it on the video like that, and then, you know, change whatever you want to see. But anything fancier than that, you're going into Fusion. Now, I only bought this because I wanted things like the magic key, which is incredible. The magic key is magical, literally magical. And you have to go into Fusion to use it, if you want to do some magic keying. So I will teach you the basics of this as well. It's kind of weird, but I've learned some basics that are worth knowing. So this is the output, this is what you see. This side doesn't have anything in it, but you can switch what side something is on by these little buttons here. So if you wanted the media out on the left, you could put it over there with the little dots. But usually this is for what's happening and this is for what you see. So if I were to just go ahead and like add a node here, let's say the VHS filter. I know that's a cool one, like the analog damage. We'll add that. There are multiple ways to add things. You can right-click and add tool and go through all this and be like, wow, what the fuck is all this? Or you can just right or hold shift and click space. Shift and space lets you search through everything. So analog damage is what I want right now. If I were to do that and just add it, it just kind of shows up here. And then you have to manually drag the lines over, and it's connected. And as you can see, it's already doing the thing. And this is a good example. You can show the analog damage here, and then like let's say there was a blur here, you could have the pre-blur here and then the post-blur here. In fact, I'll show you that exactly. So connect this, and now it's also going to be blurred. Media out should be over there. The blur is really bad. So this is on the left. That's showing what analog damage is doing. In fact, you can just have the regular media on the left before anything, and then what analog damage is doing to it, and then what the blur is doing to it after analog damage is basically the same as this. But that's what these dots are for. I didn't figure that out for a depressingly long time. That you can show the media and then what's happening to it by clicking these little dots. So that's worth knowing if you're using Fusion. Anyway, there's a potentially easier way to deal with this instead of having to drag it manually like I showed before, where if you just add it with nothing selected, it shows up here. If you select media, like the one that's just the clip here at the very beginning, and then do shift space and add analog damage, it automatically connects. So that's worth knowing. you might want to keep that in mind. You can still do manual stuff, but if you want it to automatically connect to the next spot, you just have it selected, and then it will just automatically connect to the right of where you are. You can also right-click and insert tool, but shift space is so much better. Anyway, then it works like it does on the edit screen, where all of the stuff's over here, and you can change all sorts of stuff. So if you wanted the scan lines to be bigger, if you wanted the broadcast signal to have a lot more noise, you can do all sorts of cool stuff here. And you can still skim through it and preview what it's going to look like. It goes a lot slower the more stuff you have going on. But this is where you would do most of your video effects if you're doing the crazier stuff like this. There's... Analog damage is a fun one. There should be... somewhere in here, there's like... the option to make it basically just corrupt. I don't know where it is. But there's like a digital corruption thing in here somewhere. This is what I used almost exclusively for the outro to the Fun Pack 600, where it was all like fancy looking circles. I used this and then the circle masks on the color tab. And that was basically all of it. Just threw in a bunch of clips. This is also where you would use particles. Particles are kind of insane. All of the particle stuff starts with P. So you need like... God, I don't even know what all it is. You need an emitter, for sure. You need a renderer. Okay, no, never mind. Never mind that. These are all we need, but we just connect them in a weird way. So we need to merge this and that. So that goes in one. This goes in one. That one. So no, this one, sorry. This one goes here, and then that one goes there. So this funky setup basically says, here's our clip, and here's some particles, and we need the particles and the clip to go to the media out. So the emitter is where the particles come from, and you can do all sorts of stuff with that. The style lets you choose like bitmaps and stuff. We're just going to use Ngon, I guess, for now, and make them bigger so that we can see them. And then the region, you can see the sphere here. That's the current region for them. You can set it to whatever you want, like rectangle or a line if you just want them to come from the top. We'll do a rectangle over the chat so that we can actually see what's happening. I know it's very small and you can't see shit right now. Don't worry about that. So you can, like, put it over here, I guess. And then in the controls, you can change, like, the lifespan, the number, and if they're moving. We'll have them go sideways or something. No, I was just making them way the fuck too big is all. There we go. Okay. There they are. Alright, so what has happened here is I've set the number of them up a lot. I set the style to an Ngon, which is just a star. I made the size 3. And the region is just this rectangle over the chat. And also there is a velocity of a little bit on the emitter. So now you can see they're doing particle stuff. You can change all sorts of crazy stuff. The angle is what makes it go from one direction to another, so if you wanted them down, it needs to be at like a -90. I will say this, however. Particles will fuck you up. Like, hardcore, they will fuck you up. They are the most intensive thing I've done in Davinci, and they're the only thing that has made it crash. It has done a lot of weird hanging, but it never crashed until I started playing with particles. So, you don't want to have this many particles, honestly. You want to be nice with the particles, but I just wanted to give an example of one of the things you would use the Fusion tab for. So, if we were to go back to edit, you can now see... It's just We've got all these stars on the chat. Isn't that cool? I was thinking of this just a little bit ago. Here's something worth noting. Actually, very important if you're using Fusion. The clip you have selected is where the Fusion effects go. So as soon as that clip ends, they're not there anymore. But more importantly than that, when you have this clip selected and go to Fusion, oh, there everything is. That's neat. Okay. But if we had another clip over it, like even if we have this selected and go to Fusion, it's gone. Why is it gone? Because for some reason, the Fusion tab only ever shows the top clip stuff, not the one you have selected. It will always default to going to the topmost clip instead of the one you have selected. To go to this one, if you were wanting to edit these particles again and not the clip over it, let's just have this cropped actually so you can see. That's the clip on the top. Just this little line of a chat is the one on top. If you wanted to change the particles on the one on the bottom, you can't just go over there. You have to click it, you have to right-click, and then open in Fusion page. Why? I don't know. That's just another one of the quirks that I've had to figure out. And it was driving me nuts. I have to, like, at first I was like, oh, I guess I have to move this again, and then fucking edit this, and then put it back. Like, it was the worst. I only recently learned that you can right-click and go to open in Fusion page to actually edit it. Be all like, oh, I don't want these to be stars anymore. I want them to be circles. And then there, now they're circles. Neat. One of the coolest things, you have to pay for this one. One of the coolest things that you can do with this is the magic here. Or the magic mask. This is a chroma key thing where it's not going to look very great on this particular choice of clip. But if you were to just draw a line over all this text, and then you know, let it do its thing, it automatically kind of figures it the fuck out based on where you drew that line. So now, yes. So now, at least for the part that it trained on, it's only the warp speed clip. Like, let's uncrop this. Yeah, that's good. So, like, it only trained on that particular part of it, but for that particular part, I just drew a fucking line, and that's all it took, and there it is. Warp speed. That's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. That's even better than the Ultra key in Adobe Premiere Pro. And yeah, it's not perfect, because I drew a fucking line instead of making it good. So we got all this wobbly shit going on over here. You can fix that, though. You can have the negative one be all like, I don't want this black, I don't want that black, I don't want this black, I don't want this black either. And it will kind of figure it out. And there's options to make it better. Like, you can blur it to make the lines softer, you can erode or, you know, do all the things you want to do with keying. And it's just like, you just draw some goddamn lines. Nope, wrong one. Negative to take away. Positive to add. You just draw lines and it will basically figure it out. And it works really, really, really well. It's very, very, very good for taking yourself off of a background that isn't just a green screen. I imagine it works even better for green screens, but I think Ultra Key would on Adobe Premiere would probably beat you out for that compared to this. But yeah, that is right there. That's why, even though I won't use it very often, that is the feature that made me decide to buy Davinci Resolve. Just that right there. But there's a lot of other cool effects you can use. I don't know if you can use particles without buying it, for example. Maybe. But that kind of is all I wanted to show. Just like the basic how to use everything, and then all of the quirks I've found so far. Like making sure you know how to find the mixer, how to, you know, not accidentally do this a million times by selecting the right tool, not using delete when you don't need to use delete, but being able to use it when you do need to use delete, where it's like the whole thing. Just want to remove this whole vertical line, that's fine. And basically all of the settings I use anyway for editing videos. So I hope if anyone was thinking about using Davinci Resolve but were confused and confounded by a lot of the stupid decisions they made, I hope this helps. I hope this is everything you needed to know for basic editing and a little bit beyond that you would need to know. I kind of glanced over this, actually, but you saw me changing the audio level here with this line. That's the easiest way to do it, to just change the overall volume level. You can also change it right here. I didn't mention that earlier. I just use the line every time, but yeah, it does have its own, on the audio, it does have a volume line that you can change as well. And all sorts of other stuff, like changing the pitch of it, yeah, and the speed. Oh, actually, that's something useful to know before we leave. If you want to change the speed of a clip, it works the same as Adobe Premiere Pro. You right-click it, change clip speed. You can make it like, 200% speed, and it'll do that for you. Make sure to select everything you want to be 200% speed, of course, because that only did the video and not those, but there you go. I have used that a few times. That's worth knowing. Oh, look, this is one of the hangs. This is what I was talking about. I have never had Davinci, crash on me. It does this sometimes. You want to save often because of this, because it always freaks me out. It's like, oh no, I'm going to lose all this progress. No, you won't. Just give it a minute. Whenever you do crazy stuff, it's like, it has to figure it out, and then it's fine again. It does that all the time. Don't worry about it. I have only had it crash messing with particles. Like, if it did that over here where the particles were, I don't know why it did it twice, but if it did that over where the particles were, it probably would crash. If you ran out of RAM anyway. That was my problem. But every time it does this crazy lag stuff, you think, oh no, I'm used to Adobe Premiere Pro, it's gonna die on me. It's not, I promise. And if you don't click anything after it does that, if you just save the thing, save the project, you'll be good. Just to make sure it doesn't crash. 3 times in a row, look at this. It does not like that 200% speed thing I did. After all I've shown you, I'm probably running out of RAM right now. But yeah, it's always fine afterwards. Especially if you save and then close the project and open it back up, it'll stop doing this crap. In fact, I'll show that off. I'm gonna open it again and it'll be fine. And we're back, and it's fine. Like I said, it's only crashed on me a couple times. I don't think it liked the 2 times speed thing I did over there. That's probably making it mad. But, that's about it. That's all I really have to say for now. This has kind of just been a crash course in DaVinci Resolve. I hope it was useful to you if you were having issues with any of those weird problems that I brought up, like the backspace versus delete, or, the noise removal not saving the fucking preset for some reason. But yeah, there you go. Now you know everything you need to know to kind of make DaVinci Resolve do the basic stuff and work for you. If you need any more tips, Google it. That's where I found most of my information, was just random Google videos or YouTube videos. I think I've shown you everything I ever do with it. Pretty much 100% of everything I've ever done with it. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say pretty much 100% of everything I've ever done with it? Because I'm pretty sure I just said pretty much 100% of everything I've ever done with it. And that's not true, because I forgot one thing. Keyframes and animations work exactly the same as in Premiere Pro. If you want to do crazy stuff, you can do it with pretty much any single parameter for anything. So if I just make a quick copy of this video here. Alright, so we've got just this video, nothing's happening in it. It's just straight blank screen from when I was saying pretty much 100% of everything I've ever done with it. Yeah, remember when I said that? That's what was happening. Absolutely nothing is happening here, but it's still a piece of a video. All right, so keyframes and animation. All of these little diamonds are keyframe markers. So if you wanted to mark something and have it animate, you can do that. So like, let's say I wanted to mark the zoom here at 1, and then over here we want it to be, like bigger. All right, so now you saw it turn red on both of these frames, and you can turn it back off by just clicking it again, but it's turned red on both of these frames. So what that means is that at the start frame over here, wherever I marked it, there it is, on the starting marked frame, it's at 1. And then from there to that other marked frame, it will animate and zoom in. That's how you do zooms. That's how you do positional changes. So if I wanted it to zoom and go to the left, we could just move the X over here, and now it's zooming and going to the left. If we need it to rotate, We can do rotation. Like, anything your heart desires, you can make it happen. Absolutely even cropping. Like, it's crazy, all the things you can do. If you wanted it to crop left the whole time, and just completely disappear, you can do the cropping. There it goes. It's a little, too zoomed in at that time. Let's make it go faster. Start over here. There we go. Still happening. Alright. So yeah, you can do that. I think there's an easy way to clear all of the keyframes by right-clicking. I don't remember where it is, actually. I know you can do one thing with them. If we were to take this clip again, over here, so that we have two of them. Get over here. We have this clip here, right? Which we've done all this crazy stuff to, and then we have one where we haven't. If you copy this clip, and then click this clip, and paste attributes, and just, you know, have it selected to all the things, it will copy the thing you just did to the new clip. It doesn't even have to be the same clip. If we grab this one over here... crazy stuff. And just, like, you know, take part of this. And then paste attributes. It'll do it to this one, too. You can copy animation keyframes to multiple clips that way, which is super useful. So that's how animation keyframes works. I just had to put that back in here because I can't believe that I somehow forgot one of the most common things that people do. But yeah, you can do that with pretty much anything. That's how whenever I have the little, you know, the ZetaPlays face, that's how I move it up. Every time I need to censor somebody. Where is that? Where is he? There he is. Every time I need to, like, put this guy on here, I'll zoom him down, put him where he needs to go, and then, let's say, oh, the chat's moving, I need to position it, and then make it go up. That's how I do it. That's it. Animation keyframes are one of the most super useful things. Probably should have been in the first video, honestly. But here it is at the end of the last one. But yeah, you should learn that for sure. There's like tracking stuff you can do in Fusion as well, but I've never really needed to do that. It works very, very well. Just as well as Premiere Pro. This is a fucking powerhouse, and I hope that it's always this cool and doesn't just become another Adobe. But yeah, there you go. Now you know the secrets of this program. Go and make videos with it. Stop using Adobe. Adobe fucking sucks.